So, David, why exactly are we doing another course on Galatians?
Well, Tom, I'm glad you asked that question. You probably remember that in 2014, we filmed our first course on
Right.
Galatians. In fact, I flew to St. Andrews. It was December of 2014.
Okay.
The course didn't actually come out until 2015 in
Right.
May 15th, as a matter of fact. And things have changed since then. Things have changed technically in terms of what equipment is available. And so the video equipment and the audio equipment have become much better. And so as I look at our course that exists on Paul's letter to the Galatians right now, it's pretty clear that from a technical point of view, we needed to upgrade the course. In addition, other things have changed. I think our understanding of Paul's letter to the Galatians has changed as well, and it's time to start afresh and perhaps go a little bit deeper into our understanding of what Paul wanted to get across to those Galatian believers.
Yeah, I guess so. And certainly from my own point of view, some of the reading I've had a chance to do since then has made me realize, oh my goodness, that's what was really going on here. And particularly, as you know, I did a biography of Paul about 4 years after that. I think it was 2018 or something like that. And when I revisit that now, I realize that forced me to think down into what was actually going on and who are these people who'd come from James and what was the pressure from Jerusalem and what was the situation on the ground actually like, and realize this was not one lot of people saying we go to heaven because we believe and the other lot of people saying we go to heaven because we behave ourselves according to some law. That's just not the issue at all in Galatians, and it's much more fun and more interesting, I think, for real life today for us to see what's actually going on.
So in light of what you've studied over the past 10 years or so, specifically, could you locate where Paul was, maybe not necessarily geographically, but perhaps that along with his own understanding of his calling, perhaps where he was on his journeys, that kind of stuff. What was going on inside of him as he writes this letter?
One of the things which has come home to me very much in the last decade is Paul's concern for the unity of the church, because Paul knows this is the most crazy experiment. In the ancient world, people know roughly who these Jewish people are, and Paul believes that God has fulfilled his purposes for Israel, the purposes from Abraham onwards, in this radical new way around this Messiah called Jesus, who died and was raised. Paul hadn't seen this coming, nor had anyone else, but granted the resurrection of somebody who had been hailed as Messiah, God's whole purposes have to be seen in a new light. And part of that purpose and part of how that purpose is going to be maintained in the face of surprise and hostility is by the church absolutely linking arms, and all believers across all barriers of ethnic background, gender, class, they all have to be one family, otherwise the whole thing's a nonsense and it'll just collapse again and the powers that be will have won after all. So that sentence at the end of Galatians 3 about neither Jew nor Greek, neither slave nor free, no male and female, you are all one in Messiah Jesus, and if so, you are Abraham's family, heirs according to the promise. Oh my goodness, this is massive, because he's saying there is a new sort of humanity which has been launched, and you Galatians are supposed to be modeling it. And if you don't, then we might as well say that the Messiah hadn't come, hadn't died, hadn't been raised, and we're still in the old age. We're still in the present evil age, rather than in the new age which has been inaugurated through these events.